Go. What's up, everyone? Alright, now it's gonna be a new series of tutorial. I'm still gonna make those tricky tutorial, but I've been asked for a year or two now to do easier build for beginners, so they learn how I do my stuff. Alright, so here's the first one. I call this one the Optimus. The Optimus, for one reason, it's because it's very similar to the Transformer build that you guys can search on YouTube. You will find a tutorial for it. But it's similar. The difference are that the cores are not same gauges because they're not both Clapton. One is Clapton, one is plain wire, which is wrapped with ribbon wire. I vape on that build very often because it's easy to make, it doesn't take forever, it tastes amazingly good, it clouds. You'll see how much it clouds. This is not one of them, but the other one is better, trust me. But yeah, this is for beginners. You guys gotta check this out. Make sure you have a home reader when you attempt any build so you can measure it. Nowadays all regulated mod can go pretty low, up to 0.1. That's pretty good. If you guys got that, most of my tutorial you'll be able to do it, because I rarely go lower than 0.1. Sometime I do, and when I do, I advise everybody that it's a very low, it's a super sub home, and to use the appropriate mod for it. One mod for beginners that I suggest that every beginners have, it's the Hammer of God V1. V1 because the V1 it's 4 parallel batteries, 18650. With this you can actually, for mech mod, spark a very low build, super sub home build safely. That's why you see that mod in most of my videos, because I'm a mech mod guy, and I just love this one. This one, that's not like a mod that I bring in public because it's too big, too heavy, but it's my favorite table mod. So that says, we'll move on to what you will need to attempt this build. Alright, and keep in mind, with all my builds you need a drill. Alright, so see you in a moment. Hey guys, so this is what we will need to do this build. I'm using a lot of hybrid because I love its result, and I mix it also with nichrome. But the thing is, like, I like to use it as a wrap. So okay, for this build you will need 4 core, some 28 gauge nichrome. Alright, that's what I use for my core. If you guys don't have any hybrid, you guys got Cantol, use Cantol for your core and nichrome for your wraps. I will use hybrid. If you can get your hands on hybrid, I suggest it. It's a very cool wire to work with, since the resistance will be a little higher than nickel and stainless and stuff like that. It's gonna be higher, so you're gonna be able to do funkier stuff with it, and you're gonna achieve crazy ass colors with it. Alright, so 28 gauge nichrome for the core. We will need some 32 gauge as the wrap for the Clapton, because we will make a Clapton with 2832. Once that's done, we will wrap that with a 0.4 millimeter ribbon. Try to get yourself some ribbon if you don't have any. It's a lot of fun to play with. I have quite a few tutorials playing with ribbons. Alright, you can also use 0.5, which is more common than 0.4, but I'm using 0.4 because I'm getting more wraps out of it. Okay, so this is for the wires. We will wrap this on. Since I'm gonna use, I usually use the 2 millimeter drill bit, but since we are using a Big Addy, I'm gonna go for the 3 millimeter drill bit. Alright, if you're using 22, use the 2 millimeter drill bit. Alright, you're gonna need also the cutter, the long nose as usual, a wicking tool like I'm holding in my hands, some tweezers for the fixing, scissors, and some cotton. Alright guys, so see you in a moment for the making. So one thing I forgot to mention, it's like you need a drill. Alright, I already pre-straightened my 28 gauge. You will need about, like, let's say 30-35 centimeter. And I since my wire comes into an envelope like this, I rolled it onto an empty roll here. That's my 32 gauge hybrid. And now it's pretty easy. For you guys that are new to building, I'll give you a few tricks. Some of the guys who've been watching my tutorial, the more advanced tutorial, they all know about these tricks, but maybe you don't. So the way I usually do it, it makes it easy. It's once it's straightened. By the way, if you guys don't know how to straighten a wire, you put it in a chuck of your drill, you take pliers at the other end, and you give it a shot. It's gonna straighten it up. So after it's done, what I do is, like, I just do like few loops here. And by the way, the core is 28 gauge nichrome, and what I'm holding in the roll in my hand, it's 32 gauge hybrid. Then you put it in the chuck of your drill. When you put any wire in the chuck of any drill, make sure it's well centered, because if it wobbles at the chuck, the wire will break at the chuck. Alright, and here I use a little tube. It's just a little tube that I use, that I put on my little table, that I put my wire in. This way, this wire, when I go fast, won't wobble out of control. And I don't need, actually, for this, you don't really need the fishing gear stuff to be able to make it. And the way I make my wire, I usually make it traditionally, because I tried so many different ways to make wires, and since I learned this way many years ago, I don't know, I'll stick with it. If you got other ways to do your Clapton, you go ahead and do it. Alright? There you go. I got a Clapton, a nice 28 gauge. Okay, so now I'm gonna take that 24 gauge hybrid, like I said, you see it's not straightened yet. Since this video is for beginners, I'm gonna show all tricks that you guys must know. What you do is you put it in the chuck of your drill, as simple as this. You take your long nose, you hold on to the other extremity, you hold it straight. That's it, that's all. You got a straight piece of wire. You see? Simple as this. So now for step number 2, we got our 2 wires here, the Clapton and the 24 gauge straighten. Now you're gonna need some ribbon. The ribbon you will need, let's say about 2 meters, I say will do. And what we will do is we will Clapton this onto those 2 wires here. Alright, one is Clapton, one is not. Alright, let me focus one more time so you guys can see a little more. So now what I do is I take my 2 ends like this, I bend a little bit of it. Alright, and then I do like I did my Clapton earlier, I do few loops around it. Alright, once it's nice and secured, you put it in the chuck of your drill, and as you put in the chuck of your drill, again make sure it's centered. Okay, it's centered, it's tight, it's holding well. That's what we want. Alright, and as for your ribbon, if you don't have it, oh, my ribbon, you see my ribbon is not in, so I'm gonna have to fix this. Chuck didn't grab it, so I'm gonna push it in. That's why it's always very important to prepare well. Everything is in the preparation, guys. Don't try to go too fast. It's nice and tight. It's centered. Alright, I got my ribbon here. So now again, I'm gonna put these in the tube right here to avoid again the wire to spin out of control. I like my tube because the wires are free to go where they want. Alright, so now let's go and wrap this, and we wrap it as tight as we can as a Clapton, like a Clapton I mean. Long enough. Let's cut this. Where's my cutters? Alright, garbage. Now, with our wire, and I suggest you go the whole way, guys, because you might make some mistakes. So this way, you'll have a piece to work with. So now, to untwist it, you turn the drill the opposite way you've been Claptoning, and you just untwist very slowly. And after that, you can go with your fingers. You just go with the drill for the big part of it. Alright, now that's perfect. we're back. So already mounted one, so you guys see how it should be looking like. All right, and let's mount the second one. The second one, I took my 3mm drill bit, and I actually did six twists, 6 wraps I mean. And when you do it, always make sure to keep it flat. That's all you need to do. All right, and as to mount it, you always mount the top one in the top hole, the bottom one in the bottom hole, and those type of addies. When you got one of those velocity type deck, to me it's still my favorite to work on. I tried many, but I haven't tried many of the new stuff who came out. I didn't get a chance to buy any or to get any because I wasn't really very active this summer because I was working a lot. Alright, but now I'm back at it, so I'm gonna do some heavier tutorials, some stuff that harder, some crazier stuff. But since I was asking, people have been keeping asking me to do easier tutorial because they're new at it. Alright, so now I'm doing some beginners builds, so you guys can see the way I do my stuff. Alright, you always keep one of those in it to keep the correct shape. Alright, so the shape don't change. And always make sure they're nice and tight. And the little leads here, you got to pull them away before cutting them, so you don't cut any of the other wires. And you go as close as possible. If you don't have any of those cheap ass pliers that cut closer, that breaks on anything. I bought so many, I got so many of those that now I don't use them anymore. What I do is I use those, and you see my wire that I had left, I just tucked it in, pushed it away from the coil. Alright, and on this side it's already been, I'm just gonna make sure it's tight enough though. Yeah, it's already been adjust at the right spot. And you got the top lead here that we need to cut also. Let's see, I cut it. Once I cut it, I take my screwdriver and I push my leads away from the coil so it's nice and clean. Alright, after that, before firing it, you always fix it as much as you can before firing it all the time. Alright, you make sure nothing touch anywhere, very important, and it's nice and tight and straight too. Let's fix this one. Always pull on it a little bit, it tightens it up. If you see you're too far, you're gonna have to fix it, put it back in, cut another little piece. But this one is pretty nice. Make it straight. Alright, there you go. So this is what you should be looking at. Alright, the reason why I like this one I call it the Optimus. The reason why I call it the Optimus is because it's similar to a transformer build. Transformer build have 2 Clapton as cores, and they have a little space in between the ribbon. Me, I like to have one ribbon and one that it's not ribbon because they light at different rate. They have different gauges inside, so it's, you'll understand once you vape out of it. You can also parallel another wire in between. I'm not sure about the homing of this. This should rank around, like I say, 0.1, something like that. Alright, you make sure to measure it before you spark it. Now mod can handle pretty low builds. You always make sure to spark this on a decent mod, probably on a parallel box. That would be good. Not on a single tube, because this is too low for a single tube. Okay guys, very important. You gotta get that knowledge first before you try to attempt to build anything. Alright, so now let's put this on a mod and let's fix it. Let's see how it looks. Alright, see you in a moment. Let's fix this. So when you do it, you never make the coil red. Alright, especially if you want to achieve colors. I don't know if I'm gonna get much colors because of the ribbons, but you always have to pulse it a little bit at the time, and you fix it. You will see hot spot light up bright red. These are the spots where you need to work on. See, this is pretty damn nice. You see the colors, the nice blue. This is how you make colors. And for that, don't ever bring it red because you're gonna lose it. Alright? These are the beautiful colors of this. And this build actually is so flavorful. It's good. It's a good one. That's why I decided to make a tutorial on it. I'm gonna pause it a little more so you can see it. But the thing with this, what's sad, it's the color goes away with pulsing. So now let's wick this. So now pretty simple. You need your tiny little piece of wick. Alright, you're gonna cut yourself, I say about like a little band. I like to cut them in band. I like those pads, and when I cut them, I always cut them, one side is smaller than the other one, so I just twist this side. Now let's just wick this. Traditionally, you see how easy it is to pull it in, but there's a little resistance to it. This is how you need to wick something. Alright, because if it's too tight, it's gonna burn, it's gonna taste like shit. If it's too tight, it's gonna burn and it's gonna taste like shit. So never put it too tight. Like I said before, wicking is an art as much as making coils, guys. So take your time doing it. Try to figure the size you need to make a nice wick. See, if you pull on it and it breaks, it's not good, and if you pull on it and there's no resistance, it's not good. Alright, now you make them fluffy. And since this is a pretty low addy, I got like the wick gotta go down, and you see in the bottom of this one you got like a little channel right here. That little channel, that's where you need to put the tip of your wick in. Alright, never put a cloud under because the juice won't come up. Okay, super important. So now you cut the extras. I'll take my little wicking tool. If you see at the bottom, they're just touching the bottom of my well. You see? Like this. Very important, because if you got too much wick at the bottom, the juice won't go up. You see? Like this. It's the perfect way to wick. and add. Alright, let's juice this, and just to show you, I'm gonna put some only in the bottom. You will see the juice go up. You see, I just put some in the bottom. I'm gonna put some on the other side at the bottom. And if you look, wait, the juice already start traveling up the wick. You see? That's what it's supposed to do. That's why you never put too much juice. Too much wick. Super important. And it's so funny because on my last tutorial, this juice I'm juicing in, I had some reserve on it because I don't like passion fruit flavors. Well, I like passion fruit flavors. It's the Excel I never liked because I always thought it tastes like garbage. But this one, holy shit, I love it. It's this bubble passion fruit. Yeah. So now once it's whipped, check this out. I got the bubbles inside. It's beautiful. Alright, so see you up there for the vape. This out. Awesomely beautiful, isn't it? Well, that's vape. Yeah, that's what I was showing you guys a little earlier. Yeah, I freaking love this thing. It's made by Sovereign, by the way. You check them out. I will leave well, right at the bottom right here. If you guys want to shop, you want to go wholesale, reach them. It's EAZYBUILDZ Wholesale Canada. You check them out, guys. Pretty awesome juice. I just love it. I'm almost running out of it. So now let's have a vape of it. Holy moly, tastes good. So yeah, this is it, guys. Oh, I'm drowning again. I just love this. If you guys like a lot of freaking vapor, this will produce a shitload of it. And you'll see, guys, it's easy to wick, it's easy to make, it won't take forever, and you'll keep on making this one for one reason: it's easy to make, it doesn't take forever to do. So enjoy, guys. Make sure to pardon me, make sure to subscribe, to like, and to share, guys. And I'll make sure to make some more crazier one, easier one. And by the way, I'll put in the corner right up here another easy build to make. It's called the winch Clapton. It's pretty cool, it looks pretty cool, it's pretty insane. I'm gonna do another version of it pretty soon. So peace, guys, see you soon. This build is awesome. Alright, so make sure to comment below and tell me how you like it, how easy you think it is, because it's very easy for the result of it. And to me, it tastes different than transformer for one reason, because the wire inside heat up at different rate, and that changed a lot. You call this stage heating, but you don't see the stage heating because of the ribbon around. The ribbon around, since it's tighter, it keeps the juice in and on the coil itself, on the heating element. Alright, so keep that in mind. Stage heating. And if you want to attempt colors, make sure to never bring it red. Alright, so see you on the next one.